What up, though? And welcome to the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. It's your man, Kurt Steele. On today's show, look at keys to victory for the Lions game against the Arizona Cardinals. Do the channel a quick favor, like the video and share the content with other Lions fans just like yourself. If you enjoy what we do here on the channel, go ahead and subscribe. We're on our way to 2,000 subscribers, and we are currently sitting at 1866 at the time of this live show. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us, please, and become a part of the Boss Up family, man. Now it is time to bring in my special guest for today's show. Is my man Jathan Statham Jr. Anthony from Roar of the Lions UK. What's going on, my guy?
Hey, I'm doing good, Kurt. Hope you are well. Looking forward to this week. I could do with some victory Mondays again. I'm ready.
Yeah, we got a little spoiled there last season, man. Not having the victory money kind of sucks. we got a little spoiled last year. Can't say that we didn't. But if you don't know how this show works or how we do it on this channel, man, what we do is we look at Detroit Lions news, headlines, or takes. And what we do is if we agree, we say they are bossed up. If we disagree, we say it is balled on. And we give our reasons why that we agree or disagree. For live shows, we do a little different, right? I want you guys in the live chat to put hashtag bossed up if you agree with what we're talking about, hashtag balled on if you disagree. It's all natural debate here. No hot takes. It's our true thoughts and opinions about our favorite team, the Detroit Lions. Now let's look at what we're going to talk about today as we get ready for the game in Arizona there. My man, Anthony, we're going to do some injury updates and some latest news and rumors. Then keys to victory on offense, keys to victory on defense, man. Very straight up and to the point this morning, man. So let's hop into what's going on with the Lions right now before we get to keys to victory, right? Now I know this has been floating around in the news cycle for the Detroit Lions, but I'm embarrassed. I feel embarrassed as a Lions fan that our head coach, MCDC, and his family had to relocate from their Bloomfield Hills home due to security reasons. After the Dallas loss last year, people sent contractors to his home to wake him up. And then another incident happened after the loss to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game that led to Campbell filing a police report, and ultimately he and his family relocated. They've already moved, but the home that they lived in that was the target of all this harassment, he's moved out of it, and he's placed the house on the market for sale. It's just I don't know what to say about this, man. It's disappointing, and I know these fans, these individuals. I really can't call them fans because they don't represent the majority of us, the Lions fan base. Why would you want to run the best head coach we've had in recent history out of town by endangering his family? Because that's what you're doing. You know, you're putting him and his family at risk by doing this crap, man. Now, good thing is he's already moved to a new house. Hopefully it's somewhere, undisclosed location, man. But if you're a part of the group that harassed our head coach, man, just shame on you. Just shame on you. I'll let you comment here in a second, but let's get to the injury news right quick. Anthony, the Lions had a few players miss practice on Wednesday, but two veterans returned to the field yesterday for Thursday practice. Linebacker Alex Anzalone, who was in concussion protocol, and left guard Graham Glasgow, who's recovering from a knee injury. Both were limited yesterday, but they're trending towards playing versus the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. Rookie cornerbacks Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw missed practice on Wednesday and Thursday, along with veteran safety Ifatu Melifonwu. Defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn, his presser, indicated that Arnold, who was held out for an illness, will be on the field versus the Cardinals because he was talking about the matchup against fellow rookie Marvin Harrison Jr. Rakestraw, he's still nursing that hamstring injury that happened in the pregame warmups last week. And if his ankle injury is still causing them some issues, now I doubt either one of those players will be in the lineup on Sunday versus the Arizona Cardinals. All right, Anthony, I'm gonna kick it to you, my man, to talk about these crazy people sending contractors and having to that our head coach having to relocate his family because of safety concerns.
I mean, come on, guys. At the end of the day, it's a game. And it's a game we love very much, and you get very passionate over it. But when you lose, I mean, just go out, have a walk, chill, do what I do. I go on Twitter and I start throwing mud at Chicago Bears fans and stuff like that. That's my therapeutic nature of it. I'll just go on and take it out on the rest of the NFC North on Twitter. So, just stuff like that is silly. It happens a lot as well. It happens over here as well in this country. So, I don't get it. Just don't let it. If it's bothering you that much, then you've got bigger problems than losing a game of football. Something's driving that. So, I hope he's all right. I hope his family good, and it's just it's crazy. Like the dude's just performing absolute miracles for us. He's one of us, and we shouldn't have to go through any of this. Like we're all one big unit here. We're all working towards the same thing. Let's not have silly things like this come up, because this just people start saying, "Oh, they're the same old Lions." This just little things like this drags us back into that murky past that we don't want to be in anymore. So yeah, grow up, do something else. There are plenty of other therapeutic ways to get your anger out after a game of football, rather than doing stuff like that.
Yeah, it's just for me. I'm like, man, I'm frustrated. Like, why would you? The guy who wants to be here fought to be here, and he's doing, like you said, a miracle with this team and his roster. He's restored the roar in Detroit, brought back the black unit. Man, he's doing so much for the city of Detroit and so much for this team, and you just go out and you put his family at danger. He's got a teenage daughter. I mean, like, he's got a wife, and you sending people to his house. This is crazy, man. We got to do better. We have to do better. We have to do better. But give me your thoughts on some of the guys who are injured right now: Anzalone, Graham Glasgow, and then the defensive backs we have that's kind of lurking on that injury list.
Yeah, it was a tough game for us on Sunday. A few guys dinged up. I mean, thankfully, there's nothing serious knocking around, I don't think. But obviously, it's a shame for Rakestraw that he's not able to take the field at the minute with how well he's been doing. This is a contract year for him, so you want to see him out on the field because we need to know if he's going to be part of the long-term future. The only good thing you can say about this is finally, for the first time in forever and a day, that we've got depth in our secondary. So you see a few of these, and you go, oh, still got Brian Branch in there. Still got Kirby Joseph in there. Still got Carlton Davis, Amik Robertson. I've still got plenty of guys I can trust on there. I think Arnold will be fine. Like I say, it's just a bit of an illness with him, and they've been precautionary. And we need to be precautionary with the players, especially even this early in the year. Because I say we got a bye coming up in 2 weeks, and then 13 straight games, and then the playoffs. Like, you're going to have to manage these guys really well. Even now, even if it's just a minor knock or something like that, you've got to keep them going, because there is a long, brutal stretch coming up when that bye's done, and you can't be sort of wearing them out pre that. So, and with guys like Anzalone, the concussion and that, you want to make sure he's 100%, because the last thing you want to do is rush him back and then him take another concussion and then him be out months potentially. We can't be doing without him. So I don't mind this more cautious approach by them, because it does seem like a few of them, they are doing more than they need to with it, but I agree with that for now.
Right. And I get what you're saying 100%, man. You just want to be, you look at what happened with Tua. Of course, Anzalone's not Tua. That situation in Miami is totally different. But I just think that you have to be cautious. I think the Arnold thing is you want to keep him, if he has something that's especially contagious, you want to keep him away from the rest of the team right now anyway. So, and let him just kind of just go through those things. Let's get into the comments, man, and let's just see who's in the building right now. My man Brent DeWitt, salute to my fellow veteran. Thank you. Good morning, my man. Bo Booth, good morning, bosses. My man Michael Huck, who's a fellow veteran as well. Greetings from Manila, man. That guy's all over the place, man. What's that? He's the most interesting man in the world. The Dos Equis guy, man. He's all over the place, man. But that's my guy, man. Everyone knows I've had a chance to hang out with him in person. Good guy, man. Salt of the earth. Donkey Kong, Super Bowl or bust. All right, my man Motown Man said, "What up, though? Lions rule, Braves drew." Of course they do. Donkey Kong, greetings from Green Bay. My man, Bo Booth, man. Morning, Mr. Fitzpatrick. Talking to my man Jason Statham Jr. in the building, man. Michael D says, "What up? No, what's going on, my man?" All right, so dang it, we love Kurt, but got to go, homie. Sorry about that, man. Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Just watch the rest of it on the replay. There you go. That's how we get that done. All right, man. AJC, how all? Brent DeWitt says, not fans, they are idiots, of course. Forcing the best coach we've had in years to move. Ridiculous. Whoa, man, coming back from my Detroit Lions on the prize day. RV Jackpot is in the building, man. What is going on? It's good to see you. The human condition. Some humans are crazy. Some are really, really crazy. Yes. You ain't lying about that, man. Some are really, really crazy, man. Good morning, Kurt and Ant-Man from the other side of the pond. Of course, my man. All right, howdy, Anthony. The Brit regret. I always love that one. That's one of my favorite new ones for you, man. The Brit regret, man. Definitely. These guys are not fans. A Detroit fan would defend him. What's up, peeps? Of course, man. Thanks, my man Rat and Q, my man Dave. What's going on? Kurt, salute Army vets, Marines. Not so. No, I salute all my vets, man. I like. Hey, I might not agree with everything they do over there, but gotta love Marines, man. Those guys are some tough guys, man. And I've been stationed with some of those guys, especially in Afghanistan and other deployments before, man. So those good dudes, man. And then I'm from the school of the preseason. We need at least 3 quarters, man. You know what? And I want to get your thoughts on that. And a lot of people are placing the struggles on the Lions, especially the offensive side of the ball, with the lack of reps in the preseason. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I think there's definitely some validity to it. I mean, in most sports, you have preseasons for a reason to get in shape. Like with soccer over here, we generally play 4 or 5 games, and our starters will play a lot of it. They'll play a half or so, and then you get them coming up into the season, right? Because a lot of the problems we've had seems to have been basic execution, just like silly mistakes. There seems to be a lot of our problem, and it's the rust of it, which is a bit of a pain. We've got a new offensive lineman in there with either you've got to get him accustomed to. I know he's a great guard, but you've got to fit into scheme. So I do believe that you should play them at least for a little while, because everyone goes, oh, they might get hurt or that. But yeah, but like Aaron Rodgers got hurt 4 snaps into the season last year and missed his entire year. That's not because they can get injured at any time. And yes, you'd rather them, if they are going to get injured, be in a meaningful game than a non-meaningful game. But continuity is big. And when Dan comes out saying they might not be ready till after the bye, well, that's all good and well. But if we're 1-3 or 2-2 at the bye because we're not performing well, and we're going into a run of 6 of 7 or 5 of 7 away from home, the pressure really ramps up on you. You're playing from behind, and we're playing a first place schedule with a lot of tough teams on it. So it's going to put you at a disadvantage. And I don't like playing from behind, because that's when you are going to make the most mistakes trying to play catch up. So I do believe that you should play in preseason more, and saying that, we should scrap week 17 and 18, take the pressure off them in the season. Like, they shouldn't be expanding the regular season, because I think that's what's driving this. But they should play, because continuity, execution, and all that in a game environment is a big thing, and we've been struggling so far.
Definitely, I agree with that 100%. I just think you don't want to go into that bye, what I'm saying, behind. You want to go in ahead, and we had some winnable games. I would say this about Tampa, man. It's no matter what the situation, it's tough to beat a team 3 times in a row, especially somebody who's not in your division. Like, you're facing, that's like, we played them, that was the 3rd game that we played them. And you when you have that, it's just going to be some adjustments, and they played well. They defense played well. And we just wasn't able to counter what they were doing in their defense. So actually, we play right into their hands, kind of trying to play horizontally and not playing vertical, up and down the field. You can't. They're backing in their front 7 is so fast. They're sideline to sideline guys, and you can't try to play, that outside, trying to leverage that. That's the wrong approach with those guys. You got to go heads up and straight out the guy defense like that. But all right, let's get into the keys to victory on the offensive side of the ball. The Detroit Lions, I believe, need to lean on their best asset, is that offensive line, which is great, but you have to be able to run the ball. I said this the other day. You limit Jared Goff when you don't run the ball. Goff is deadly at play action. Now, he has great ball handling skills. We've seen him where people are tackling people or trying to tackle him with his ball handling skills. So, and he can fool defenses. He can move safeties or defensive back with his eyes, and he can slice up secondaries with his accuracy. So you have to run that ball to set up play action, because if you're not running the ball, there's no threat of play action when when you're doing it. So Ben Johnson has to have a way to cut off Arizona safety Buda Baker. Man, I watched some of the film on that guy, especially from the last game, where I know he's playing a really banged up offensive line in LA, but he was crashing down on the run plays. Man, you have to find a way to stop that guy, because he will wreck your run game if you let him. And then Sam Laporta, I think he has to be more of a focal point, because he was last year, and he's had some limited production. Now I kind of looked at the tape and some of the all 22s where he was open last game. I just think he wasn't the first read. But if you do what I said in the first key, which is run the ball, you definitely will have a chance to get him more open in the pass game, because he is a great target in the play action. So, and we understand that the Lions have all these weapons. You got J-Mo, you got Gibbs, Montgomery, then you got Laporta and St. Brown. You have all these mouths to feed on offense, but you have to let your second team all-pro tight end eat to be successful. And then the third key to victory on offense for me ties into the first two: control the time of possession. The more the offense is on the field, the more Kyler Murray and all of his weapons on his offensive side of the ball will be on the bench. Now, I'm not saying abandon the explosive plays, but you got to use them a little bit more strategically and get ahead on that scoreboard and just run that clock. I mean, just pound them. 8-minute drives, you know what I'm saying? Hey, what they call it, 8-minute offense. You want to be able to control that time of possession, keep that little jitterbug of Kyler Murray on the bench, man, and run the clock out. So what do you have to say about my keys to victory on offense, my guy?
So the one thing I've noticed through the first 2 weeks, I know people are saying we need to run the ball more to open up the pass. The trouble is, especially because we love play action so much, even if you establish the run, you're still not clearing up the middle of the field because teams are stacking boxes heavy against you, which is making it tough for the likes of Laporta and Amon-Ra in the first game to get space to make catches. The trouble for us is we don't have a vertical threat downfield passing game. You don't have a passing game which can spread that box and make more room in there. Like, you look, we've taken a couple of big shots to J-Mo over the first few weeks, but teams know instantly the second we do that, we're going to revert to type and we're just going to start running it again, or we're going to throw a screen again. Teams have absolutely no respect for our downfield passing game. So the safeties keep coming up, the boxes keep getting loaded, and we keep getting stopped. You have got to start being a bit more adventurous with your downfield passing game. You've got to do it 1, 2, 3 times in a row. The thing that the Chiefs are so good at, right? They like, the Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes, and everyone thinks they're a passing team and that, but they love to run the football. But what can they do? 2, 3 times in a row, Mahomes can launch one 15, 20 yards, just keep moving the chains, and then they've got them off, then get the run going in. You have to lighten that box. So you've got to start being a bit more adventurous and find out that there's too many screen passes, there's too many throws before the chains, there's just you're just restricting the field for yourself. And that's where the problems are coming from. So for me, against these guys, you've got to establish early that you're willing to throw the ball, that you're willing to move the chains, you could be willing to throw beyond. Because the few times we did get the Bucs on their back heels is when we started taking bigger shots downfield, and we were able to do what we do a little better. It's not just as easy as saying, well, let's just run the Bucs. It's still not going to allow us to play the way we want to. So you have got to target J-Mo a bit more. You've got to target downfield a bit more, and then you can establish what you want to do, and you can be a very dangerous team. So for me, it all comes down to you've got to start presenting a vertical threat. And until we do, teams are going to show us absolutely no respect. and they're just going to load up against us, and we're going to continue to struggle, especially when it comes to the red zone stuff. So that's where I'm at. We've got to be more aggressive and then be who we want to be, because we've been figured out. It was always going to be the case. Good offenses continue to adapt and evolve. And unfortunately, the way we play right now has been figured.
Okay. I think, yeah, we got to get that intermediate, this long passing game going. I agree with that as well. And that comes along with the other stuff. If you get into that rhythm, and then you can have those shots, you know what I'm saying? With you catch those guys up too far into the box, and you can just go right over there, you know, right into that space behind them, you know, in the intermediate passing game. So I agree with that, you know what I'm saying? But hey, do me a favor, man. Like the video and share this content with more Detroit Lions fans like yourself, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. But I know everybody in here are a member of the Boss Up family, man. So go ahead, if you have not, hit the subscribe button, man. All right, let's get back into the comments right quick, man. Before we move on, my man Bag Prig says greetings to the Ball Out boys. Thank you very much, man. A lot of things to clean up, nothing that can't be fixed. I agree with that 100%. Phil, good morning, Mr. Steele. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. I just want the coaches to wake up. I think a lot of us want that too. Ant-Man, good morning, man. What's going on? All right. We have to run more and pass dink and dunk and then throw deep early. It kind of got your point where you kind of you can open up the pass game. King SJ, my man, coming over from my old Detroit Lions on the Pride Day, man. Good morning from Toronto. All what's going on? Dan Spanos is in the building. Good morning, Kurt and Anthony. What's going on, man? No excuses for poor coaching. This group has to been together for 3 to 4 years. I agree with that. But we talked about this a little bit ago on Lions Talk Live, where it's a copycat league. A lot of the teams are playing the same offenses, and now you have a lot of teams playing double high safety and keeping that middle of the field locked down. So it's not just us that's having these struggles. A lot of teams are having these same struggles. So because a lot of teams are playing the same offenses, and that so the defenses have adjusted. So what do you got to do? You got to counter that with what you do well, and make that thing happen, man. Vote your conscience. Perry, man, 24/7. Good morning, boss up, ball out, family, man. What's going on? Aiden says first away game coming off a brutal loss, a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. I don't think so. I think that's a way to get up. You know what I'm saying? Come home with a victory. Go out there because you don't have all the distractions on the road that you do at home. I'm just saying. All right, last topic for today, man. We're gonna look at let me this keys to victory on defense. This is a lot shorter little segment right here. All right, so first thing they did to do, man, the Lions front seven are gonna have to keep Kyler Murray in that pocket, man. It will speed up his clock in the passing game, which can cause him to make some bad throws. Plus, it will limit his vision because of his height. So keep that pocket condensed, man. Doing that will limit what he can do with his legs as well. Because if you think Baker can run on the Lions, man, Murray will kill our defense with his speed if we let him get outside that pocket and start doing some things. So set the edge with your defensive ends. Keep those rushing lanes with your linebackers and keep him in that pocket, man. Then Aiden Hutchinson will have an opportunity to keep eating on Sunday. We all know what he did last week versus the backup right tackle for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But guess what? He was already going to be facing the backup right tackle in Arizona, but he may be facing the backup to the backup right tackle on Sunday because the backup is hurt. So Hutch may have a chance to have another big game versus the Cardinals and have some multiple sacks. They're gonna be rolling Kyler Murray out a lot probably in this game because they're gonna have to get him away from Hutch. To be honest with you. And then the last thing, man, the Lions defense, the secondary has played terrible in zone coverage this season, man. They aren't passing off receivers to the right people. They're not communicating properly on that back end. AG brought a lot of guys in who can play man coverage. So guess what, man? You need to play man coverage. You have one of the best single high safeties in the league in Kirby Joseph. You got to play man coverage until we can get this zone situation fixed. And I'm looking at what we do in zone. It's terrible. We play better in man. You got man guys, man. Put the man guys on the field. All right, my man. Anthony, I'm gonna give you one whole minute. I gotta go check on my son right quick. So I'm gonna put you front and center and give me your takes on what's going on with your keys to the game on defense.
Okay, I'm so glad you put that last one up there because I've been tearing my metaphorical hair out about our zone coverage and about how much I hate it. And I've had to watch it for the last 3 years where I watch opposition receivers in no man's land giving easy outs to their quarterbacks who were trying to pressure. If the quarterback gets a little bit of time in the pocket, he's got a man to throw at, and I'm done with it. Like, it's time for our DBs. We've invested highly in our secondary. Let them go out and make plays. Put them more in man coverage. Stop giving these receivers the easiest ride they're ever going to have in their lives against us, because I'm done with it. And like I say, this all comes as part of forming pressure on a quarterback. If he's having to scramble, he's got guys bearing down on him, he's looking downfield and he's got no one to throw at, he's going to panic. He's going to make some bad decisions. We might be able to get the ball back off them, but too many times he's got a free man. Like that play to Jalen McMillan in the Bucs game where he just busted cover and he hit it like 40 yards right after we'd scored, and they scored on the back of that. It's unforgivable. So he needs to start playing man more. He needs to start trusting his guys more. I'm done with zone. Shove it where the sun don't shine, because we just do not do it well at all. I'm done with it. As for the D-line, yeah, you've got to continue being aggressive. Kyler Murray's always been the weird exception to the rule with us, where we've always played him well. We always beat the Cardinals. Like, we've beaten them, I think, the last three. Even in our first year where we were dog awful and they were in the playoff hunt, we whacked them at their own ground. We've always been able to play him well for some reason. So just check your tape from previous games and do whatever we've done in those games. Keep him going there. But most importantly, and what works best in our hands on this, stop the run. Because this Cardinals team I've seen this year, there's two different iterations of it. The Bills stopped them running, were able to beat them fairly comfortably, more than the scoreline suggests. Rams couldn't stop them for love nor money. James Conner, and it opens up that playbook for Kyler Murray to do what he wants. When you've got a rushing quarterback and you're constantly in second and third and shorts, he's going to take off. He's going to get them. You've got to stop this run game. But thankfully, we've got one of the best run defenses in the league. So if you can get them in third and long, stuff these runs, get their receivers tight under man coverage, you will be able to strangle this offense. It is there to be had. Let's not be, giving them easy outs. Let's not be, tenuous against them. Let's be aggressive. Let's go get them. Let's go get this win because it's big for us. But I like our defensive matchup here, as long as Aaron Glenn stops being so negative with his secondary.
Definitely, I agree with you 100%, man. Hey, do us a favor, like the video, share the video, and comment on this video, man. Y'all know how we get down on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, man. All right, so let's get into a few comments here because it's getting down to the close to that bottom of the hour. Can't help but the league think is calling the shots. I don't know about that, but it's a copycat league, and once you get something that works for one team, a lot of teams starting adopting it. So the offense and defensive side of the ball. So we're seeing a lot of old school defenses, too high safeties, and it's, loaded boxes, and, seeing a lot of stuff, man. This is sports entertainment now, not football. I don't know about that, man. Okay. Stay on the field offensively as long as possible before jamming it down the opponent's throats. I agree with that, man. I think a time of possession is going to be key. I think that with their running game, if we let them get a rhythm, they can have some explosive plays as well. I think that they can throw the ball down the field. You get Marvin Harrison, he's a good target down the field. So I ain't gonna lie to you, I got him on my fantasy team, and I had a good game last week. I didn't even get a win, but I had a good game last week in our LNU game over there, man. And shout out to one thing I want to say is shout out to Herman Moore, man, and what he's doing over there at Lions Nation Unite. One thing is that he is finally, I believe, on the one of those getting close to that veterans, and he's going to be one of those many names on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. It's several Lions, former Lions, himself, and Lomas Brown from Lions Nation United, who helps over at Lions Nation United as well, man. And good luck to all the Lions former Lions that are up for the Hall of Fame this year, man. If I was a voter, Herman Moore would have had my vote a long time ago, just because of the fact that you look at, he kind of got washed in an era where he played in an era with Jerry Rice and all those guys, but he did some extraordinary things, man. He was first team All Pro, Pro Bowls, led the league in receptions 3 times. Those aren't numbers to sniff at, man. A lot of Hall of Famers with less numbers are in the Hall. It's just it's harder on receivers sometimes to get in, especially in the era he played in. Chris Carter, look at those names he played against in that era that he's up against, man. So, but good luck to my man, Hearn, man. I appreciate you, man, for all you do for me and all the rest of us guys that are coming over to Lions Nation Unite, man. And you'll see more and more of us, different faces over there here in an upcoming. Because my man Micro is taking a step back. He's going to focus on some other stuff and some of the stuff he does over at Chat Sports. But we're coming. We're coming. You're going to get more and more faces at Lions Nation Unite, man. But thank you guys for hanging out with us right here on the Boss Up Ball Out podcast, your home for organic debate about Detroit Lions news and rumors. My man Anthony, tell everyone where they can find you and your great content.
You can find me at Roar of the Lions UK. We're a group of Detroit Lions fans from across the pond. We're live on Mondays. I do college stuff on Wednesdays. Thursdays, we're live during the game on Sundays. So if you want to come in and say hi during the game, then please do. Yeah, Roar of the Lions UK.
Yeah, and if you do Discord, man, you need to subscribe to their Discord, man. They have a lot of great information. You can find a lot about the content in their Discord, man. So check them out over on Discord, man. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us right here again, man. And do me a quick favor, man. If you don't follow us, follow the crew on your favorite social media platforms. Wolver Lion, Coach Mike Jones. He has some great content on his shorts on his YouTube channel, man. I'll post content on all my social media pages. Make sure you check out LL for Thirsty Thursdays on his Instagram page as well, man. Especially yesterday, it was extra thirsty on his Instagram page. I can attest to that. And I know you got to go to work. It's Friday. Make sure you have a good day, man. Spread the joy that if you're having a good day at work, man. But if you're not, don't steal no one else's joy, man. And whatever you do in life, you got to boss up. Hold on. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for our prediction show. So game predictions tomorrow on Saturday. It'll drop at 8:00, man. Myself, Coach Jones, LL, be tuned in for that show as well. But whatever you do in life, you got to step boss up, ball out, and be the best version of you that you can be. For my man Anthony, this is Kurt Steele, and we will holla at you real soon.